At least 6 soldiers have been killed and another 6 injured when 2 improvised explosive devices targeted an army patrol in Egypt's restive Sinai Peninsula. According to hospital sources, the attack took place on Al-Arish-Sheikh Zuweid Road. No group has yet claimed responsibility. The attack comes only 1 day after the Egyptian army announced it had killed 16 militants. The army also claims to have disarmed 24 IEDs planted to target security patrols in the Sinai. Well, let's get you more on that story now. CCTV's Adil Mahroui is joining me live from Cairo for more on these developments. Adel, another attack in the Sinai Peninsula. What more information have you gathered on this latest attack, and what's the reaction from the government?
Well, it's a continuation of the attacks trying for the Egyptian government is trying to maintain control over its borders east and west. You spoke about one incident in the Sinai. There has been also another assassination attempt this morning, what seems to be a series of attempts to attack in northern Sinai on today, the third anniversary of the June 30th uprising that ousted former Islamist President Mohamed Morsi. On the other hand, there was another attack on the western borders with Libya, where the armed forces also had 6 of its troops killed in a crossfire between it and smugglers. It did not indicate exactly what type of smugglers they were, but the armed forces said that they were trying to enter the country illegally from the western borders. Crossfire happened and another 6 officers were killed in that crossfire. Some of the perpetrators were killed and the others fled back inside the Libyan territory. So that's a general part of, based on Egyptian officials, it's part of their actual daily work is to stop such smuggling attempts and try to protect the borders, and in North Sinai try to maintain security from the militant who are trying to increase their influence in that area. But the armed forces have been launching extreme offensive operations against them, trying to limit these attacks.
Well, Adel, you've mentioned that June 30th uprising, and Egypt has been observing a holiday to mark the third anniversary of the mass protest that led to the ousting of former President Mohamed Morsi. How did that unfold?
Well, today is a national holiday. Egypt has declared it that the June 30th of every year will become a national holiday and a day off for Egyptians. So many have enjoyed that. It's the third anniversary of the uprising. 3 years ago, tens of thousands, if not even hundreds of thousands of Egyptians took the streets all over the country in protest against the rule of the Islamist President Mohamed Morsi, who was then ousted later on. But as tens of thousands took the streets back then, today the streets of Cairo were very quiet.
3 years ago, this was where Egyptians gathered to voice their unhappiness with the political leadership, and succeeded.
Egypt has grown in many areas. Internationally, it's a regional power once again. Domestically, the country is moving into a developmental phase. The new Suez Canal is one of the most important projects we've accomplished. We've also had great success expanding the roads network and developing infrastructure.
But the picture is not perfect.
Education is the biggest drawback of this administration. In the past, it wasn't good, but people did not complain. Today, it's deteriorated greatly, and there is no concrete plan for restructuring.
During a televised address, the president has praised what Egypt has achieved over the past 3 years, but says he knows much more needs to be done.
It's no secret, the challenges are great. We have to work harder to make up for what we've lost, more so in the current economic circumstances. However, I assure you that the efforts by honest and loyal Egyptians will be enough to ensure we progress and develop the economy.
There is little sign of any celebrations by ordinary Egyptians. Most citizens have escaped the hot weather and spent their fasting day at home. It's a national holiday, but June 30th is passing like its previous anniversaries, quietly. Without significant popular celebrations or a patriotic character, it remains a reminder of change and the better future Egyptians have been trying to achieve since 2011, but haven't succeeded yet. Adil Mahroui, CCTV, Cairo.
These were pictures from Tahrir Square, where the uprising was quite packed, as you've seen earlier in the report, and visuals of some of the Air Force's performance that they have celebrated in some acrobatic movements above Tahrir Square, marking that day. Now, as the night has fallen and it's time for iftar, or breaking the Islamic fast, there are expectations that some might take the streets later on today, but it's still not very clear how many they will be, and something that seems to be a continuation of sort of a less interest from most Egyptians to celebrate and mark this day.
Adel Mahrouri for us there in Cairo. Thank you.